What an idiot. Welcome to the Dagnabbit Boys podcast. It's the fucking season mid-finale. So somebody's going to die this episode.
Yeah, it's been a long one.
Yeah.
We're on episode 68 of season 1, and if you've been watching, this is kind of where things start to kick up, to where you start telling your friends about the show.
Yeah, if you've watched, like, The Walking Dead or whatever, this is like when, Bleep dies.
Yeah.
This is like when Bleep dies, and everybody was upset about Bleep dying.
Did you ever watch that show?
My mom really liked it.
A lot of people really liked it. It was...
Well, my mom mostly.
Your mom was definitely the core of the base.
Yeah,
Because your mom would watch it and be like, I feel like this.
Yeah. You know what? What's crazy about The Walking Dead? That's what I call the streets of San Francisco.
Oh my God, with the leadership that they have?
Yeah.
I like
because all those tech people.
Yeah, I think comedy is really powerful. So I walk through the streets of San Francisco with a karaoke mic, and I go, what is this, The Walking Dead?
And everyone laughs,
and
right?
I take videos of it with a body cam.
And it's all because, and I mean, you guys know what we're talking about, is that tech industry.
Yeah.
Is that it makes all those people walk around like The Walking Dead.
Yeah, because they're addicted to phones.
Yeah, they're addicted to phones.
That's the annoying thing about, parts of San Francisco and like Skid Row in LA is you have all these guys that are just like absolutely screen addicts. And that's why they're so hunched over, because they're trying to get shade for no glare so they can go on Instagram.
And it's like, why are you guys doing that? There's a bunch of unhoused people right there that you could be helping instead of looking at your phone.
Yeah, my advice to anyone on Skid Row, if you want to improve your life, is just put the freaking phone away.
Yeah.
And
experience life.
Experience life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like when I was a kid, we didn't have those sorts of like phones or whatnots. Like you didn't have the whole internet in your pocket.
No, when we were kids, we didn't have Instagram. We had the Bush administration.
Yeah.
And that, got you out in the world. And I would argue, did you ever have political arguments in like elementary school?
Probably, man. I was just trying to survive. In elementary school.
Okay. You're going to start responding like a SoundCloud rapper to all of my questions. Man, we was just young back then. Yeah, I know you were young, but what were you doing?
We was 8 years old.
Man, we was 8, though. It's like, all right, but like how
Obama was about to come into office.
Well, yeah, because I remember...
There was hope.
Especially as a young child, I think a lot of like maybe millennials and Gen Xers who were like full-grown adults now, after Obama's presidency and the drone strikes and shit not really getting any better, maybe feel dumb for being so hopeful. But I was in like, 4th or 5th grade, so like the hope did feel good. It was cool as a young Democrat raised white to just see a black president and be like, this has to be the best thing ever.
I don't know if you guys had this feeling before Obama went into office that people were being like, he's going to get assassinated.
Everybody was saying that.
Everybody was saying that.
That was a countrywide. Everybody on both sides was saying it. The Democrats were like, oh, God, these racists are going to kill our first black president.
And Republicans were like, oh, good, we're going to kill this black president.
Yes. Yes.
Thank God.
And that should have been an indicator that we probably weren't actually healing any of our racist American bones, is that we had a first black president and most of what anybody talked about was his death.
We were all like, thank God there's hope. But...
Yeah, very few people really talked about who he was as a person. They were like, I just think he'll get shot to death. And it's like, well, that's...
I know two things about Obama. He's bringing hope, and also he'll be brutally murdered.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like you're describing Obama the same way you do kids in inner cities, actually.
Yeah.
You're actually describing him the exact same way of he has potential, but will probably die young. And then he didn't. Nobody even tried.
A man from the south side of Chicago.
Yeah.
They're like, you think the south side of Chicago is bad? Wait till you're the president.
Yeah, I remember we had like a school-wide election. Did they do that in your school? Where they'd have you vote for the president? No. They would have us do that as like elementary schoolers. I remember like getting in fights with like a young McCain supporter. I think I've talked about this already, but I stopped fighting about politics back then because I didn't understand. He was like a half black, half Filipino kid, and he was like, I love John McCain. And as a young liberal white, of like 8 to 10 years old, I was like, how do you not like Obama?
So you were either in 3rd or 4th grade, because you're like a year and a half younger than me. So I remember being in 5th grade when all
2008, I'd be like 8.
So I knew a little bit more about politics than
you did.
I was a little bit more aware.
You were a little bit more versed. I was a young idealist, and you had...
I was a cynic hardened by the world.
Yeah, you'd kind of seen things already and kind of understood.
Well, that year, when you're a kid, that year and a half is a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you spent that year studying...
I studied a lot. I studied...
the two-party system.
Yeah. And I came to the conclusion that my parents should have voted for the Green Party.
Yeah, because you were 10 years old and you were like,
I'm really into Jill Stein.
The neocons definitely want to overtake the Assad regime, or at the very least weaken it. So I think they're going to use Obama to commit drone strikes. You said that. Because I remember I followed you on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. I was like really active on Twitter when I was 9 or 10 years old, or however old I was.
You were a pretty poignant political commentator, especially for your age.
I mean, the most viral tweet was just kind of a half thought or whatever. And it was just, I don't like John McCain because he can't do jumping jacks, which is my favorite activity at gym.
And a lot of people resonated with that.
Yeah.
I think what you had was sort of the perfect mix of a stark and thorough political awareness, but also mixed with a sort of a childlike simplicity of thought.
Yeah, I said that the neocons are kind of like when your mom makes you go to bedtime at 8, but you aren't even tired.
Yeah. Well, you were saying that the country needs to prepare for a right-wing reaction after Obama's presidency, the same way when Zach gets up at kickball, everybody says, move back.
Yeah.
Move because he kicks it for you got to get back into the outfield.
Yeah.
And nobody did. We thought it was all good and we would stay infield, and then Trump really just kind of hit it out of the park.
Speaking of school, I was having this thought the other day of a guy running for class president or whatever of the school, and he's like, there's going to be no more homework, we're going to put piss in the water fountains, and recess will be 30 minutes longer.
Like he's just trying to mix it in.
Yeah, he's trying to mix it in. And then all the people are like, I don't really agree with his piss politics, but no more homework sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I do like that. Just people like having a Trump-like allegiance to a class president. And they're like, listen, nobody likes the piss stuff.
You got to admit he's funny. But
we need leadership. I'm willing to overlook the piss stuff and the fact that he has a girlfriend in 6th grade. Because I love just the idea of high schoolers being like really upset about the current state of school politics and being like, we've had bad class president after bad class president.
Our last one had dementia.
We need leadership.
Our last class president had dementia. Our last class president was Joe Biden.
Yeah, you have an 18-year-old with like advanced Alzheimer's. And there's like freshmen that are like, he is not fit to lead. But then he has like a whole like team around him of seniors that are like trying to keep up his appearances. I do love the idea of
what about a class president that's been going for like 8 months, and then all the kids are just like, he's not been the same since APAC had a talk with him.
Well, yeah, I was also going to say, I do like the idea of a kid getting sworn in as class president, and he's like, he's like, we're going to have more pep rallies and stuff like that. And then just like a man in a suit comes in and he's like, there's 3 nuclear reactors in Iran. And we need your permission to take them out. And then he's like, wait, what? And then like, he's like, and they're like, don't worry, nobody's going to get hurt. And then he's like, okay. And then like the next day on the news, it's like 300 civilians killed in Iran at the order of Dustin Patterson of Westmoreland High School. We should just delegate like international decisions to just class presidents around the country. I do love the idea of just like, he's just like so confused. And they're like, did you not think this was part of the job? Were you not prepared? We need quick decision-making and leadership. Are we going to Iran or not?
What about a class president that everyone's mad at because he was making big promises, but he can't actually do the soda in the water fountains?
I mean, yeah, that's honestly he's just getting like fucking milk thrown at him at a pep rally where people were like,
"The president has been struck."
The president has been struck with a carton of milk for not delivering on promises. And then there's like people on the news, like adults, that are like, locals at Westmoreland High School are outraged at the ineffectualness of the Patterson campaign. He has not delivered on any of his promises for Fanta in the water fountains. And then you just have like really old Republican commentators that are just like, this is Democratic leadership. This is what you see. It's idealism, and what we're looking at now is somebody who lied to get into office and does not care about his constituents. He has to do press conferences. He gets impeached. He gets impeached and expelled from high school.
He gets impeached because he like made out with a girl.
Yeah. Just a girl his complete own age. They're like both 17 and they're like pedophile.
Did you know Mr. Patterson is molested a 17-year-old girl?
Just a picture of him and his girlfriend at like Yogurtland. And they're like, how's this acceptable? How's this okay?
Is this what the Democrats want?
So this is a Democratic leader going out to froyo with a 17-year-old girl. How old is he, you ask? 17. That's irrelevant. I know I've said I like the idea 15 times already in this episode, but I like the idea of a class presidency ruining somebody's life.
We've had good ideas. So you're allowed to say I like the idea.
Yeah, all of our
ideas have been good.
All of our ideas have been great, and so it's okay to like them. And I'm not. You know what?
I'm not gonna be ashamed of liking good ideas anymore.
Yeah. How do we run for class presidency? How do we get in on one of those elections?
Oh, we could be a third party.
We're still What if there's like a loophole in a high school presidency system where like if you're a third party, you don't have to go to the school?
And all the people are like, don't vote for the third party. You're just wasting your vote.
But it's just us as grown men putting up pictures calling other kids pedophiles and shit.
Yeah.
Because we have enough time to like print posters. They got to do homework and shit. We don't have shit going on.
A vote for Cooper is a vote for Donald Trump.
I mean, with a lot of schools nowadays, you'd win. I would actually love to see some of these high school campaigns going on, because I'm sure a lot of them are like co-opting Trump tactics and stuff.
Oh, definitely. There's probably a lot of people being like, I don't agree with Jimmy, but you got to admit he's funny.
Do you remember any class presidents from your entire high school? Do you remember even voting for one?
No.
Wait. From what
I don't even know if we had those.
I think we did, but I have no memory of it. And I think from what I remember is that student council was just a group of like nerds who were like also popular in a way I didn't understand. But it seemed like they just had it actually, not to sound annoying, but it actually kind of resembled the actual political system where it was just a small group of people who made their own decisions and then would just tell us like, this guy's the president. And then the rest of the school would be like, we're not interested, or like, how was this even decided? Where it's just like, they'd be like, that's the president. I'd be like, when was this? We never voted on. Like, I don't remember this at all.
They have no power either.
No.
If I was class president, I would just say stuff that's already not allowed, as though I'd be like, guys, you can't bring guns to school.
Yeah.
We've made a decision. You cannot bring guns.
People would applaud your strong leadership. They go, everything this guy says gets done because it's already been done, because it already exists. And that's pretty cool.
So they're going to defund PBS, I heard. That's good. Now the parents have to turn it on to Nickelodeon.
Yeah, I guess that's Trump's new thing, is like canceling the.
We don't have to watch Arthur anymore. We can watch Cartoon Network. When they wheel in the TV at class, it ain't gonna be motherfucking Arthur. I tell you that, because Arthur's dead.
See, that's why. That's why you need to approach politics with a childlike perspective. Because, like, all of our friends in LA right now are like, it's so crazy the Trump administration's canceling PBS, and I'm like, we don't have to watch Sesame Street anymore, y'all. We can watch whatever we want. It's gonna be
as long as it's underneath TV 14, because I'm not even 14.
It's gonna be Ed, and Eddie all day now, and Mom can't say anything.
I can watch E shows. I can watch Y7 shows. I can even watch Y7 shows F V for fantasy violence.
You're saying all of this at a bar on the east side as people are trying to have cogent political perspectives. And you're just like, y'all like watching the baby shows?
I'm more into like regular show and stuff.
I'm
the
into
Amazing World of Gumball.
I'm into really twisted stuff. Like the Amazing World of Gumball. I'm just kind of an artsy. I love that like fucking degenerate art. You know?
It's like transgressive in a way Arthur could never be.
Ed, Edd and Eddy is just transgressive in a way that like speaks volumes about the human condition and what like three guys can do to a community with
all
if they
named
have
Ed.
no tact. Yeah. Which also shows that the government is trying to make us all the same.
That's some real ass shit.
But our individuality shines through.
I'm kind of the Eddie of the podcast.
You can't say that.
You're the double D.
I literally think this conversation has been had on the podcast before.
No, it hasn't.
Hey,
chime in the comments if you think I'm the Eddie of the podcast, and also that this has never been done on the podcast before. But you're definitely the double D.
We've had this conversation.
Kurt Steinmuller is the Ed.
Yeah, that's why I say Kurt. We've been in a car with Kurt, and you posited the question of which ones are we, and immediately said I'm Eddie, and then said I'm double D. And I'm like, that's
you're double D for sure. All right. Sound off the comments if you think Cooper is double D.
We're trying to get the Ed, Edd and Eddy fans to move over to our podcast.
We've already have the Mark Maron fans.
This is the podcast for Ed, Edd and Eddy fans. If you're into the kind of wackiness of Ed, Edd and Eddy, we need to get fucking Plank on the show.
Dude, if we could score Plank
so he can address the allegations.
It'd be funny to get SpongeBob. If we got SpongeBob off, our urban viewership would be up. If we can get SpongeBob on this podcast.
SpongeBob does really resonate with young black voters.
Yeah. If SpongeBob was running for office, they'd be like, well, 100% of the black vote went to SpongeBob.
Well, would we get SpongeBob or would we get Gangsta SpongeBob who wears like a green double-breasted suit and has grills?
Well, that's SpongeBob in real life. SpongeBob on the show is SpongeBob when he's acting.
I guess you're right. Yeah, I mean, actually, if you look at it, the real life descriptions of SpongeBob are as like, yeah, he has like rings and grills and he wears a green double-breasted suit.
I'm pretty sure those are paparazzi shots of SpongeBob.
Where he's like, where does he live when he's not filming?
He lives in the Jordan Down projects in Los Angeles.
Damn.
He's hard.
He's one of the richest men on TV. Yeah, I like that idea of like, you know how like...
He's like, a brother like me is 39 this year.
Yeah, you know
that
how...
old age for my community.
He's a double... Yeah, I mean, he's a double OG for sure. Yeah, he's like certified triple OG. I like it's like how MC Hammer actually had like, even though he was like kind of had a more squeakier clean image, he was actually like heavily gang affiliated and like had people killed and shit. That's SpongeBob as well. Where like if you mess with SpongeBob, like multiple Crip sets they'll be at your door.
Yeah, what colors is SpongeBob?
Well,
let's Google this.
I mean, the thing about SpongeBob is he is yellow. So that's going to get you involved more with, I guess, like kind of Latin King type stuff. How are the Latin Kings doing? I don't know.
I think they're doing pretty well in Chicago.
Yeah, okay. Because I don't think they have much of a presence down here with like MS-13.
I want to say Latin Kings were made in Chicago.
MS-13 is cool because I don't even know if they have a color.
So SpongeBob is mistakenly joined the Mild Ones. That's one of the gangs he was in. He thought they were the Wild Ones. And he also became a member of the Sharks, a gang known for their rivalry with the Pods.
Can I see this?
Yes.
This is like... This is Google AI. What gang is SpongeBob in? He's briefly part of two gangs. Okay, so he was part of the Mild Ones. That's a biker gang.
So yeah, don't mess with the Sharks and Watts.
Wait,
SpongeBob might come through.
He's also part of the Krusty Gang, a band formed with other characters. Krusty Gang is a band formed by SpongeBob, Patrick, Sandy, Mr. Krabs, and Plankton, showcasing their musical talents. Oh,
that's not an actual gang.
Well, but some bands, also have gang affiliations.
Well, they're affiliated with the Sharks, dumbass.
Okay, so if you fuck with the Krusty Gang, then the Sharks will be on your ass. I mean, the Sharks do look pretty tough, TBH. Like, because I don't know if you see the damn, he does roll pretty deep. Because look at these guys. They all kind of look like Grease characters.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I can show it on the screen. You're not going to see it, but it doesn't matter. But
yeah, Google the sharks, SpongeBob.
I mean, tread lightly because they are scary when you look them up.
Are we in a shark neighborhood? Are we in the shark? Have you looked at the LA gang map recently to make sure the sharks aren't in the neighborhood?
Let me see.
Cooper's using a fake phone. He's using his invisible phone.
It's a Google Lens phone.
Oh, okay.
I'm wearing Google contact lenses right now.
Shout out to Google.
This actually explains a lot. So technically we're in a shark neighborhood, but like across the street is a pod set.
Yeah.
So that's why there's all like the graffiti and there's kind of, I have felt a certain amount of tension. I mean, I'm not a part of it. So
Yeah,
like I've never been involved, but yeah, there's kind of wars going on, like kind of right at this intersection because it's pod and shark shit.
Oh, wow. I do. Yeah, there is a kind of there is like a nervousness I feel when I'm in this neighborhood. Sharks are one of the deadliest gangs in Los Angeles.
The Sharks killed 16 kids last year.
It's crazy.
It's funny that
they have sets in Victorville that they use to like. So people from Tijuana will meet them in or whatever, Mexico. They'll meet them in Victorville, and then that's where they'll get their meth and stuff.
Yeah, I mean the Sharks expanded a lot, but they started in like SoCal prisons.
Yeah,
so it's kind of one of those things.
It's a white supremacist gang.
Yeah, well, it's similar. That's also an issue because they have a lot of beef with. They have beef, but also a slight alliance with the Aryan Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Because they jockey for power in the white race, but they still have to kind of get together. Especially in prison, they're a lot less volatile.
Yeah.
They kind of coexist a little more. But it has a similar structure to the Aryan Brotherhood to where there's sort of two separate gangs of like a leader of the prison sharks and a leader of like the free sharks.
I have heard that Aryan Brotherhood and the Sharks are really vying for 88th Street.
Yeah, I mean that's been like a long stand, kind of like,
and it's like, well, I don't know. I don't know much about the 88th Street in L.A. We could Google what the racial makeup of that is, but I would guess that they only want it because of the 88.
Well, that started because Hammerhead Henson was from like 85th and like that territory, and then when he went to prison, he started the Sharks. And then when he got out, he wanted to turn it, not turn it into a street gang, but start the sort of street gang part of it. But by that time, Aryan Brotherhood guys had also been sort of collecting territory around the area. And he was like, well, this is like my hood and my home. So that's been like, that's sort of the origin of the Shark Aryan Brotherhood beef is 88th Street. Because Hammerhead Henson is like, this is where I'm from. But Aryan Brotherhood members were like, you got to, like respect that we've been here. And he's like, fuck all that. And so, I mean, a lot of people died, especially in like early 90s. I want to say 93.
Yeah.
Over 88th Street. And things have calmed down a little now, but it's mostly after a lot of bloodshed. It's mostly a shark territory now.
Yeah, okay.
And Aryan Brotherhood has gone, a little more national than the Sharks, but the Sharks have more of a stronghold in like Los Angeles.
That makes sense.
But when you get up to the Bay, that's like way more AA.
Okay.
Or AB, sorry.
Okay.
It's like way more AB up in the Bay. There's a couple Sharks in the Bay, like especially outside, like in the Bay, like around Alcatraz, you'll find some Sharks. And then farther you get out into the ocean, you'll find more Sharks. Because that's also the thing is like AB is more land-based, and the Sharks are like sort of prison, land, and also
underwater
ocean. So that's why like you'll find Sharks in the Atlantic as well. But also down in like the Caribbean, and sometimes you'll even get reports that they're around like Santa Monica and stuff.
Yeah, that's why the movie Jaws is really scary because it's like based in reality.
Oh, it's a gang violence movie is really what people don't understand.
Yeah.
The same with Soul Surfer about that blonde Australian girl is that
Arian.
Well, yeah, she was AB.
Yeah.
And she was surfing, and so then taking off her arm was like a direct attack.
Yeah.
And that's when the Sharks moved into Australia. Mm-hmm. And that's like the weird thing about that girl is like a movie got made about her, a book was written, and she's like professed as like really brave and stuff. But like she's been like AB for like a minute. Like she was like hardcore AB. The arm that got cut off, like that's where like a lot of her tats were.
Yeah.
Of like Swazis and Iron Crosses and like AB shit, 1488, like all over that arm. The reason the Sharks bit off that arm is because it was like just like a full AB piece pretty much. And now she just doesn't have a lot of tattoos, so people don't know.
Yeah.
But she's like really down with AB. She still is. If you actually read if you
look at pictures of her now, she did tattoo like 1488 on her face.
Yeah, she looks crazy.
She actually
now.
has the entire 14 words on her face.
Yeah, what people don't understand is that like her surfing was her provoking the Sharks.
Yeah.
She like because when ABs go surfing, they're doing it to like get the Sharks to start set tripping and to start pop off shit so they can, start a war. Kind of under the guise of like they attacked us first, but it's like you went onto their territory.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the Sharks have a stronghold in a lot of places. Great Barrier Reef. I mean, there's like tons of places.
SeaWorld?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. AB, and you can't be an AB and walk around in SeaWorld territory.
But there's also the tough part about the Sharks is they have like a lot of different beefs because they beef a lot with the Aryan Brotherhood, but they also beef a lot with just orcas generally.
Yeah.
So like, and that's less
because the orcas are on their territory.
Yeah, and that becomes less gang violence and more like kind of resource based of fighting over seals.
Yeah.
Which is one of the weakest gangs in the entire ocean. I mean, they're quick.
I would guess that those people in Alaska that club baby seals are probably shark affiliated.
Inuits?
Yeah, Inuits.
Yeah,
I would guess they're pretty shark.
Yeah, Inuits are one of the oldest gangs in the world, and they got affiliated with sharks a long time ago because they recognized the orcas as a threat to their seal catching and stuff like that. I like to look at the entire world as any group of people is a gang.
The whole world is a ghetto.
The world is a ghetto. So like in America, before colonization, what people don't understand is that wasn't colonization, is that there were hundreds of thousands of gang members who we now call the Native Americans that were constantly just sort of fighting and set tripping with each other.
Yeah.
Like the Mohawks were a gang, the Cherokees were a gang, the Apaches were a gang, and they all controlled different sets. And then, then you had Europeans come over who also had different gangs, such as the French and the Spanish and the British, and they took over different areas. So
I mean, gang stuff goes back so far. Even Jesus Christ himself was a gang leader.
Well, Christians are really...
He grew up on the east side of Bethlehem with his 3 brothers.
Yeah, I mean...
There's 13 brothers.
If you look at Jesus' life, it's a pretty classic...
That's where the whole calling somebody a Judas comes from.
Gang member upbringing.
Yeah.
Is he's born, without a dad. He's born into abject poverty. And then he gets some other guys who share his vision. They go around. They start encountering... a lot of different violence. Eventually, he's killed on the streets. Yeah. And that enlivens a lot of his followers. That grew the gang.
A guy he thought was his dog became a snake.
Yeah, and that's just classic gang shit.
Yeah.
Is like when Jesus was on the cross, he looked at Judas and said, like, thought you was my dog.
Yeah.
So everything is just gang shit if you really get down to it. And stuff just goes on and on and on to where you kind of forget.
I'm at the grocery store. I do have to check in with the people and the uniforms that have to open stuff up.
They're the gang of the Ralph's gang.
Yeah, the John's gang.
Yeah. I do like the idea of checking in with the grocery staff to ask if it's cool to shop at Ralph's.
You go to Target, they're wearing all red. You cannot be wearing blue. They might think you're Best Buy.
I got my ass beat in Target for fucking wearing a blue shirt. A bunch of fucking non-binary teenagers beat the fuck out of me. Because they're all down with Target, for sure.
They don't mess with no Best Buy.
No, Best Buy has been absolutely under attack from Target. And it's crazy. Off La Brea, there's a shopping complex where you have Best Buy in the bottom and Target on top. And that's why I try and avoid those streets as much as...
It's kind of a metaphor.
Yeah, I mean, really. I try and avoid those streets as much as possible because there's just constant violence.
Yeah.
Target kids come down and they just start destroying all the Kindle Fires and Best Buy. It's crazy.
Anyway, that's our gang talk for the episode. I know you guys tune in for two things. Thoughts on gangs and literature stuff. So now we can talk about...
We like gangs a lot on the podcast.
Well, yeah, it's bad. Our podcast is bad. Makes sense. We say bad stuff on the podcast. It's sad that there's crime. So we talk about crime. Because crime is sad, and our podcast is sad.
I think gangs continue to be cool because gang members are so hard to interview.
Yeah.
Any question...
Really hard to make small talk with them.
Really hard to make small talk. Just any interview you see, it's like just almost impossible to like really get an answer out of them, you know?
Gang members don't do small talk. They always ask the hard-hitting questions like, where you from? Where your mama stay at?
The gang member that's nervous. He's like, I'm just so bad at small talk, you know? Because it's always like, where I don't know where my mom is. Just a guy on the streets, just like, I don't know where my mom was born. I'm sorry. She's from Colombia. Is that bad? And they're like, oh, you 13? He's like, I don't know. I'm 16.
Oh, you 16th Street.
No, I'm 16 years old. I go to Westmoreland High School. Just trying to go to college. And they're like, oh, you trying to be part of the Cal State gang. Statewide gang.
You think about it, Gavin Newscum is in the gang referred to as the California government.
Yeah. That's the gang member who thinks everything is a gang. Any other group is a gang. Oh, you work at Starbucks? You one of the Bucks? You in Buck Gang? Man, we don't fuck with Buck Gang. We dunking down here.
Oh, you go to the gym. Gym over there?
I'm gonna start.
Big Jim?
Just
leader of the gyms.
Just a gang member that won't go to any store or join any gym because he thinks everything else is a rival gang. Whenever the Amazon guy comes, he shoots at him. He shoots at him to get him away, but he still brings him all his food and
I can't
water.
trust him. He's from the Amazon.
Man, he like a jungle gang or something. The gang members literally have to explain to him. They're like, no, we're a gang. These are businesses. But we do business.
A gang member comes in and he's just like, man, I heard about this shit called PonyCon. We should bang on PonyCon.
Every single convention at the convention center in LA, they think is a meetup of a gang. Man, all these motherfuckers brought all day cars just to flex on us. They go up and shoot up the LA car show, the LA auto show. They shoot up a Ford stand. Ford gang in town. They a Detroit gang. Trying to run up on us? I don't think so. Man, we got Japanese gangs in there. Kill a bunch of Toyota executives.
Toyota tough, but you know what the hardest gang in LA is? The LAPD.
See, now we've done enough jokes that we're now back to reality. Now we've joked around enough that we've now just said a thing that's actually 100%, just 100% true.
Well, yeah, that's the joke. Well, you get, you know, you do a little riff, and then at the end you say some serious ass shit.
And you go,
true.
How about that?
Yeah, well, that's what satire is.
How about that for a message that the LAPD is 100% a gang?
Did you see that thing about, like, all those sheriffs blew up? Like, 3 sheriffs blew up and died?
No.
Yeah, there's, like, I don't know, there's some sort of explosion at some sort of police, like, sheriff station or some shit, and, like, 3 of them died. And it's funny because it's, like, accidents happen.
But what blew up, though?
I don't know. I can look this up. This happened, like, a couple days ago.
Yeah, why are sheriffs exploding?
Doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Sheriffs, they protect us. The LA sheriffs, they protect us.
We need to elect better sheriffs. At the moment, they're all combusting. We need a sheriff who is not full of gasoline.
3 deputies killed in explosion at Los Angeles County Sheriff's Training Facility. Well, East LA. Oh, it's in East LA?
Did they explain? Like,
it's not.
Did somebody plant a bomb, or like, was there a water heater that blew up, or?
All I know about the LA Sheriff's Department, and you can Google this, is that there's no corruption. So when stuff like this happens, it's just completely probably an accident.
I just wanted to. Can I read it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I feel like you keep looking at it than not reading it. I just
responded. Oh, the 3 deputies responded to Santa Monica apartment Thursday, where a resident reportedly found grenades.
Somebody called the sheriffs and said,
"Oh, it was a bomb.
It was a grenade."
Yeah,
they got grenaded.
I think so.
So somebody planned to kill them, or was it an accidental explosion?
I think it was. It was a. Somebody planned to kill them.
Oh my God. That's wild. We're throwing grenades at sheriffs now? I grenaded the sheriff?
Yeah, I think it's...
Did they grenade the deputy? Gosh.
Well, if there's anything I know is that it was probably an accident. Probably the guys with the grenades came by to say, thank you for not beating the shit out of us and taking our shit.
And then they went to shake their hand and then accidentally pressed the grenade thing. That'd be a funny way to suicide bomb somebody, is you shake their hand, and then once you shake it, you realize they're holding a grenade that you just pulled the clip out of.
Oh, I shouldn't have taped this grenade to my hand.
Well, it's like the clown thing where you have a buzzer in your hand.
Yeah.
Except it's a grenade. And you kill both yourself and the person you're shaking hands with. That's Vietnam clown for you.
Don't you miss... The electric chairs looked like, not fun... But it's such a startling image.
Yeah, having somebody like completely strapped down and then they shake to death.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of weird that used to be such an image that was a part of like American like pop culture. I watched an episode of Tales from the Crypt the other day with our friend Kurt. Shout out #Kurt, and it's all just about the electric chair. Like people are just constantly they're getting fried in the electric chair a lot. That used to be a big deal. Were you, like, when you were a kid, you hear about people getting killed in electric chairs. It was kind of fascinating.
I was really into the death penalty for a while. I would, like, only watch things about people on death row and the death penalty and the way it's changed in America. And it's weird to learn how it's become, like, a very American thing of executing people is most, like most what you would consider, quote, like Western countries really don't execute people anymore.
Yeah.
It's weird to zoom out from America and realize kind of what we look like to other people.
Yeah.
Is that like we still just kill people legally?
Yeah.
And other countries are like, I can't believe you still do that. But we have debates about it. Like, it is crazy if you just zoom out enough to that we actually have debates of like, should we be allowed should the government be allowed to murder people? And people literally are like, maybe they should. Like, it's crazy.
I have a couple...
Because it costs so much more money.
Because Tennessee still has the death penalty. I was actually kind of reading about it. Kind of near where... I didn't know this. Kind of near where I grew up in the 80s, there was, like, a really horrible hate crime. Like an actual, like, they kidnapped a 13-year-old black kid and, like, tortured him to death. This was, let's see, it was like 3 homeless guys, and they knocked over a vase by accident. And so the homeless guys chased after these kids, and they caught one of them, so they took him back to like a shack and like tortured him to death. And they're like executing the guy this year. I was reading the comments and I found something that was kind of funny. There's a guy who's kind of known around Nashville as a death penalty fan. He's like a death penalty super fan, so he goes to all the like executions. And I was reading about like it's so funny the news comments, because the guy commented about how much he loves to go to executions. He loves to see those people get fried and how they're going to go to hell, and he believes in God and all that stuff. And then the comments are like, hey, bro, saw you at this other execution blaring Hell's Bells. That was awesome.
Yeah. We are such a fucked up country because that reminds me a lot. I think I might have said this already, but I was watching one video on this Russian prison where like there's no they don't have any heating at the prison, and it's like in like Siberia, so it's like constantly freezing temperature, and they're just constantly cold, and they're in like metal cells, and they're very small. And you read about this and you're like, wow, this is like really inhumane.
Yeah.
Like this is like a really horrific way to treat somebody. Even these people who have done horrible things, this is just like a continued, and they don't kill people at this prison. I think they essentially just freeze them to death.
Yeah.
And you watch this and you're like, wow, that's horrible. And then you look in the comments, and one guy literally commented and said, you know, going through this, if they find God, it actually is okay, because they'll suffer this much, but if they find God, they'll get to go to heaven. And it's like one of those things that's really disgusting, where without God, there's no way to reconcile this situation at all.
Yeah.
If you take God away, you're like, this is just a horrific torture of a living thing. But then you add God, and this guy's like, no, actually, this horrific torture is fine, because if they read the Bible, they get to go to heaven. And I've never seen a comment that's more self-serving than that.
Yeah.
Of like, there's no other way to reconcile it other than you watch this, it made you feel horrible, and you needed something to make you be okay with living in the world you live in. And then you're like, oh, well, God, so it's actually okay. And it's like, no, this is just bad. And you're too much of a coward to just accept that horrific things happen.
Yeah.
For no reason other than people are making it happen.
I think it's better to live as, like, morally, it's probably better for you to live as though there isn't a God, so we should fix stuff, rather than that there is a God, so bad stuff will eventually turn into good stuff.
Yeah, I think that becomes my issue with some Christians, and we talked about Christianity and people always hate it, but that becomes my issue with some Christians where their beliefs in God seem to be more reactionary to awfulness than it is an actual belief.
Yeah.
They just see a terrible thing and they go, well, God makes that terrible thing okay. And then it just sort of begs the question of like, so then without it, it's just terrible. And without it, maybe we could talk about fixing it. But if you just bring God into it, then we don't have to talk about fixing it, and you get to go on with your life. And the whole belief just seems way too convenient for somebody's emotions than it really does it doesn't serve any other purpose than making somebody feel better. That's what annoys me about Christians, when they're like, well, it's just people trying to better themselves. And I'm like, what I see more is people trying to rationalize a chaotic, awful world around them and just feel better about it. I don't think those people are any better. I think they just have something to lean on.
I'm thinking about the other side of that comment, which is, what if they find God, and they go to heaven? The opposite of that comment is, what if they don't find God and they go to hell?
Well, that's also the thing.
Where it's like, well, you thought this prison was bad. You thought this was a horrific human rights violation.
Now you're in hell.
Yeah. So it's kind of the opposite, because it's hot.
It's also like, by those Christian rules.
If you freeze to death in a prison and like don't accept God and then go to hell for like a couple seconds, it must feel pretty good.
First 10 minutes, you're thawing out. You're like, this is nice. And then you're back
Thank God I didn't believe in God.
Yeah, then you're back up to normal temperature, and you're like, all right, too hot. How much longer does this go on for? And they say forever, and you go, shit. Well, also by that same rule as a Christian, it's like, well, God forbid you're Muslim and end up in that prison.
Yeah.
Because then you're worshiping a false god and you go to hell by Christian rules, So It's just like, what the fuck? I don't know. I guess it's Abrahamic, so maybe they still get in. I don't know what they think about that, but
yeah, maybe it's a bunch of maybe it's some Jewish people so maybe they're like, there's no hell.
Supporting the death penalty is really interesting, though, because you have to have a childlike belief in the efficacy of government, which it's hard to find anybody on either side of the political spectrum that still believes in that, which is confusing me why we still have the death penalty. Because you talk to any Democrat or Republican or extreme right wing or extreme left wing, and really none of them will be like, the government is smart and thorough and we can trust every decision they make. And yet you still find people that are like, but they can decide to kill somebody. You have to believe so much that the government does a good job of knowing what they're doing to think that they can decide if somebody dies.
Yeah.
But then that's why that guy who's a big death penalty fan also believes in God and good and evil, is because they think of the government as an extension of God. And they're like, they're doing a good job. They're working through God, and every decision they make is like, it's weird. given up on like the divine right of kings, like directly, but we still believe in it in many ways.
Yeah.
Where there are so many people that are like, oh no, that congressman he's a Christian, he's working through God. Therefore, everything he's saying is kind of divine and correct. And like, I don't know. It's just, it's really awful because like, it's not to argue for atheism. I think,
Yeah, I mean, we don't really know. I mean, none of the gods that people believe in are probably, I would say there's a very, very slim chance of there being a god anyone's ever thought of.
Yeah. Like that you're 100% right.
Yeah.
Is crazy. But I think it's like, yeah, like not to argue for like fuck God, but it's just like, it's funny how if you don't believe in God, or at least hypothetically drop God for 10 seconds and think about anything in the world, you start to think more solution-based. And if you think of God in any situation, you can just divert to him and let bad things continue to happen. People look at the genocide in Gaza and they're like, well, God will work that out. And you're like, no.
Yeah.
Netanyahu and the American government will do what they want. If you stop thinking about God for 2 seconds, you go, okay, well, if it's not God doing it, who is it? Oh, actually, it's all these people making those decisions, It's very hard to talk to people when they...
It'd be funny if Netanyahu invented a bomb that crucifies Palestinians.
That it shoots crosses into the ground.
It shoots crosses and nets at it shoots a cross in the ground and then they shoot him with a net. And then they start shooting. It shoots like nails into each part of their body.
Yeah,
and then the Christians are just gonna be like, this is what God wants.
Oh, they're all Jesus now. Well, what it does is it shoots crosses with nails sticking out of them. So you get a kid running away who's like running like this, and then the cross hits him, and then the nails go through his hands and feet. And he falls like that. Yeah, and then
the heroic IDF picks up the crosses, and then so they can,
The problem with doing that, though, is you, like, level a Palestinian village with cross bombs, and then 3 days later, they all come back to life.
Oh,
and
that is a huge...
And you got to do it again.
That would be crazy, though, if they kept killing the same Palestinian child and it keeps coming back to life.
Yeah, if Jesus was alive today, the IDF would kill him twice. They wouldn't view it as a miracle. They'd go, he rose again? Fucking blow him up.
Oh, I'm sorry, this is a malfunction. We had America gives us the best bombs.
Sorry, this is just... It would be funny to watch the IDF, like, deny a miracle. There's no way this guy's the son of God. He's the son of Satan. That's why he rose again. Maybe that's why if Jesus does exist, he hasn't come back. He's just like, they would fucking kill me so quick.
What if Jesus has come back, but in a bunch of people, and he's just every member of Hamas?
I like that. I don't know why I like that, but...
You know what? I don't know why I like this.
I think I like it because people I don't agree with would really hate it. Man... Yeah.
That's like the worst thing you could say to some people.
To like Christians for Israel, like Christian Zionists, if you were like, well, what if every member of Hamas is Jesus? They would hate that so much. Oh, you're mad at me for saying Yahya Sinwar is Jesus. Okay. His death video is crazy. Did you ever watch that?
Oh, yeah. He looks like the coolest guy to ever live.
It's just crazy. He's just sitting in that chair. A drone flies in. He looks at it, throws a stick at it, and then looks away. That's wild. It's just crazy to watch. It's so wild what different things people can get from that. Because I look at that as just like, man, this guy is like part of this like struggle against a power he kind of knows he can't beat but can resist in some sense, and then it's just like come to the end of the line and he's just like, yeah, fucking kill me. I mean, that's what
Americans really believe in, like pulling yourself up by your bootstraps and believing, of like you got to believe in yourself no matter what. But when it comes to Hamas, they don't like Hamas, the going rags to nicer
rags to October 7th. They don't believe in that come up story. Yeah.
Damn, Rags to October 7th is so funny.
I think it's hard for like Americans, especially Christians, to understand like the mindset of somebody born in the Gaza Strip who's also like a devout Muslim, of just like our friend who's Palestinian said his dad was like, well, you know, the Israelis love life. And he's like, Muslims look at life as like, this is just a blip. Yeah. Until you die and you live, you know, in infinity forever. He's like, so I think it's hard for the IDF and Americans to understand that it's like these guys don't care about dying, and not because they're a death cult, but because first off, in a pragmatic way, it's like you're not allowing me to live. So even without God, I don't care about dying because I'm gonna die. Because you're gonna kill me. And then you add to the fact that I believe in Allah and like everlasting life, so it's just like I don't give a fuck. And that has a lot of power.
Yeah.
Once you truly are like, fucking kill me, is when things will, you know, you start getting, that's a problem. In America, nobody wants to die. I was trying to write a joke about it. Like, we just have a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, before you even get to death, like, I have so much stuff. I have too much stuff. I'm one 26-year-old guy. I have so much fucking shit. That stops all of us from, like, pulling a Luigi or protesting.
Yeah.
Because you're like, well, if I do that, I lose all my stuff.
Where's my PlayStation? My PlayStation, dude.
One PlayStation will destroy a whole generation of, like, future founding fathers. But that's what's interesting. Reading this book on Washington, this guy points out something that I didn't realize before, is that a lot of the founding fathers were rich, which is a kind of revolution that had never happened in the world before, of rich guys starting a revolution against a powerful government. Like the French Revolution and revolutions beforehand, it was always like the populace and poor people who were like, fuck these rich guys.
Yeah.
But the American Revolution was led, like George Washington was one of the richest planters and slave owners in the entire colonial empire. Like he was one of the richest guys. And it's interesting because it's like the British fucked over rich guys enough that they started a war. And I'm thinking about it now and I'm like, that might be the only way to actually change anything in our current system, is you need really rich people who are like sick of it. And
the really rich people are like getting so much.
They're getting so much. And there's a few really rich people that like don't like the current administration. Like I guess you get like Mark Cuban, who's like, I don't like Trump, you know, but they're not getting fucked.
Yeah.
Rich guys in colonial times were getting fucked. They were like, I'm getting taxed so much. And they would like, George Washington was trying to like build a nice house and shit, and like they had to get all their supplies from Britain, and they would just send them shitty stuff because they were like, even the rich guys, they have no other option, so we'll just fuck them over. So it's just weird where it's like, I think there's like more resistance to the elites now because the middle class is getting fucked.
So what needs to happen is, so all famous rich guys are procured women that are in their early 20s that are like really hot. So what if the only way it could happen is if they're like in the cocaine that they use? What if that sucked? And what if the women they got sucked and they were getting it from the government, which they probably are?
Well, I don't know if
there'd be a revolution then.
I think it's already happening, and that's not working.
It's not working?
I don't think it's working.
Are the rich guys getting busted bitches?
Here's what needs to happen. Right now, rich guys have sugar babies.
Yeah.
That are women that they have sex with. Those rich guys need to take that money and get militia babies, which are young men, who they will give money to form armed militias and start an armed resistance against what they view as an oppressive regime. Because that's essentially what happened in colonial times, is all these rich guys got together and were like, let's get some of these poor motherfuckers together and build an army, and then we'll fight these guys. And like, you know, in this book I'm reading, like they didn't have a lot of guys, you know, they'd have like 3K, sometimes they'd have like 12K, like they didn't have a huge army, but they would just go around the colonies fucking up British troops, you know, so you don't need that many guys. I mean, it's different now.
Yeah.
But these rich guys, if you have like over $100 million, what you should be do is you should be training armed young liberal militias to overtake the Trump administration and like training them in warfare and stuff to start a guerrilla war against the American government. That our friend John Hickok pointed out is, more feasible than most people think.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I said on the podcast, like, well, what about all their bombs and stuff? And he goes, yeah, but if you're fighting in the woods and shit, if you have guns and stuff, if you're using a guerrilla tactics, a lot of those bombs and stuff only work. So, I mean, we saw what happened in Vietnam.
Yeah.
We just do Vietnam here, and then we get a new government. And this isn't just about Trump. This is really just about politicians that are bought and sold by foreign entities and rich people, to keep the elites happy.
Yeah.
So, if I ever had a bunch of money, I'd just be giving it to terrorist groups across the world and starting armed militias.
So, yeah, please support our podcast if you want to see real change.
If this podcast gets big, there will be blood in the streets. I will be doing it from the same apartment. You'll be like, what's he spending his money on? And you don't know that it's like
blood in the streets.
10,000 AR-15s and Glocks with switches. And really the way you do it is you go to just every gang in America. You get young, disenfranchised youth, and you go, listen, you guys are already pissed. You're already doing everything you need to do to survive. Just turn the guns on rich guys.
Yeah.
And
I know I'm a rich guy, and I know this would be really easy for you to just kill me right now.
But I go, listen, you kill me right now, you get some money, but only you guys. What I'm talking about is let me pay you all a wage, and if we do this, it's like you get way more long-term money. And I unite the gangs of America. I go, I know you got beef with these guys over here, but I'm going to give you both a good amount of money, and I need you to come together and form a militia. Because the colonial militia, they didn't have matching uniforms. They were a ragtag bunch, you know what I mean? And we got more guns than they did now, so you just get them all together. Fellas, let's do this.
And I know you're going to want to use these guns for nefarious reasons. And that's fine, but cool it a little bit.
You get the Bloods and the Crips and MS-13 and the Latin Kings and fucking Chinese gangs, and you march on Wall Street. A bunch of 15-year-olds with Glocks with switches, just absolutely killing every owner of a hedge fund, every successful stockbroker. Then you march on Washington and you kill everyone in Congress because they're all bought and sold. Just everybody. And they're like, are we killing AOC too? And you're like, I mean, yeah. Like,
you're going to have to kill AOC.
She's only cool because shit sucks so much. But in the world we're bringing up, she's still the enemy. So, yes.
Maybe just shoot her in the head, I guess?
And then these guys are like, who's going to lead it? And I go, you guys are going to lead it. It's going to be a gang-run communist nation. This is also the issue is I don't really have a clear vision. I'm just honestly,
I'm just kind of really angry.
It would kind of backfire pretty quick because all I would be doing is just arming street gangs, like with way more guns.
Well, we militarized militarized every inner city in America.
Yeah, I would just be militarizing inner cities with no clear plan on what to do and really no way to actually unify them to the point that we would never have a concerted effort against anything. Is that the bloodshed would they'd be like, gang violence has striked 1,000%. And I'd be at home like, fuck. I'd be mad at myself, but I would die knowing that I tried.
Yeah, and that's all you can really do.
I'm dying like 3 days into this operation. I'm like giving a bunch of AR-15s to kids in the inner city and being like, so we're going to go to Washington, right? And they're like, yeah, for sure. And then I turn around, they shoot me in the back, take my credit card and go to dinner.
Yeah.
And then they get like hung on the steps of Congress as terrorists or something.
They shoot you in the back, and then they get the most Red Lobster anyone's ever gotten.
Yeah, because I'd have this vision of like a working class uprising to the elites, but really I just get killed within 3 days, and then my money gets spent on Red Lobster.
Millions and millions of dollars on Red Lobster.
Yeah. Every gang in America is killing more than ever and going to Red Lobster. Really, the news story is Red Lobsters have been overrun by street gangs. Red Lobster as a whole business folds because it's just become like a gang meetup area. There's been another death at Crab Fest.
They start talking about Crab Fest like it's a weekend in summer in the south side of Chicago.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
30 people have been killed at Crab Fest this year.
And everything I just said is a joke.
Yeah, it's all jokes. It's all satire, We're all just goofing around.
I guess when I say stuff like that...
When we say that sort of stuff, you got to keep in mind, we're CIA agents.
I guess when I say stuff like that, I realize why nothing I've ever done is successful. I think about everything I've put out, and I'm like, it is bad.
No, that was good. That needs to be our clip.
It is really bad, everything I've put out. Do you ever think about how, I don't know, I don't think you feel this way. You put out good stuff. I just think about everything I've ever put out artistically is so bad. Like, fuck.
Nah, your stuff's good.
Haven't put out anything good yet.
You need to believe in yourself as much as I believe in myself. I believe so hard in myself. It's crazy.
Yeah, I just need to get away from the thought of killing myself. That blurs everything. Because then anytime anything sucks, you go, well, maybe I'll kill myself. And then you deal more with trying not to feel that way. And then your solution thinking is really just focused on not killing yourself instead of the thing you wanted to do first. You're like, how would I make that good? And then you go, I don't know if I can. I'll kill myself. I got to figure out how not to kill myself. And then you don't think about that thing anymore.
Just give yourself like a 5-year plan that ends in suicide. And then you'll keep pushing it back.
You can't do that in comedy, though.
You keep pushing it back. That's always what happens. Because things will be a little bit better. And then you'll be like, ugh, I'm about to get there.
Yeah. You go, well, I make like $5,000 a year doing comedy. I can't kill myself now.
Next year, it might get that up to 10.
That would be sick.
Anyway, thanks for listening to the podcast. We got big news dropping soon. Shout out to Timothy Rogier sending us some money. Shout out. We don't know who you are. I know you live in Los Angeles. Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, Timothy Rogier, big supporter of the podcast. Thanks so much. Not sure. I don't know anything about you, but thanks so much.
Know.
Just a random guy.
Yeah, just a guy. I don't know.
What I like about Tim is that he's just one of these guys that nobody will ever know. And he's just sort of a random nothing guy.
Just kind of a guy in Los Angeles who sends us money.
Just anything he does is kind of purposeless.
Yes.
And baseless.
Anyway, this is to everybody out there. Stay funny.
Stay funny. You too, Tim.